mic.
Oh, now? Okay, hey everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Grant, this is Jeanette.
Hello.
And today we're also joined by two other members of the culinary team, Tina Wu and VJ.
Woo.
All four of us are here to help you guys answer any Thanksgiving questions you might have. So start asking right now. We're going to try to answer as many as we can today, so start commenting. And ask us anything that's on your mind, anything about Thanksgiving. We're here to help you guys. So let us know what you're thinking at home. Jeanette and I are actually going to get started by making two make-ahead side dishes that you can make today and serve on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So like I said, comment below and let us know any Thanksgiving questions you might have, or just let us know where you're watching from, because we love hearing from you guys. So we're all going to get to work, and Jeanette's going to get started on her make-ahead
Excellent.
dish.
Yeah,
Jeanette,
so I'm going to show you, so Thanksgiving's what, 3 days away? It's Monday of Thanksgiving week. So Grant and I are both going to show you two things to just kind of like knock one thing off the list for Thursday, you know? Like, you probably have most of these ingredients at home, or you went to the grocery store this weekend because it was one of the busiest grocery weekends of the year. So I'm going to show you how to make my rye bread stuffing, and I love stuffing. Stuffing's just my favorite part of all Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Stuffing is one of those things because you don't have it any other time of the year.
You're right.
So this
Why
is like,
not, though?
Stuffing is like the star of Thanksgiving.
I think it's time to bring it back. Stuffing all year round.
Deborah from Dallas says hello.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Okay, so now in this pan, I just sweat out an onion, 1 cup of carrot, and 1 cup of celery, just in like half a stick of butter, because if you guys watch Facebook Live, you know I'm always trying to cut corners and girl math. It's Thanksgiving, butter all the way. Butter's in everything today. So I'm just gonna add in a little bit of fresh sage, a little bit of fresh thyme, and then I just chopped up a little bit of rosemary. I kind of call that the Thanksgiving trifecta. It's like all we have in our walk-in refrigerator from shooting so much content here at the show.
Especially sage. For me, like sage is really like that smell and that taste and that aroma. That's like Thanksgiving.
That says Thanksgiving, exactly.
Joy from North Carolina says hello.
Joy. Joanna said that someone in her family doesn't like turkey. Is it wrong to make another meat?
No.
I don't think so.
I think that's the great thing about Thanksgiving. You can make anything you want. I mean, for me, like Thanksgiving is all about traditions. We traditionally do make a turkey, but if that's not your bag, then make something else. Make
ham
a
would be
chicken.
nice.
Make a duck. Go for it.
Get fancy.
Prime rib.
See, that's nice.
She does always
That's
have
really
prime rib.
delicious.
She makes dry turkey and a prime rib.
And we joke around here a lot because we eat turkey pretty much from Halloween until like today.
Yeah.
So we're always a little tired of turkey by the time Thanksgiving rolls around. So yeah, prime rib sounds delicious.
Lynn says it's snowy in New Hampshire.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
it
Lynn.
snowed a lot over the weekend. It's crazy.
And Julie is asking how far in advance can you make pumpkin pie? Well, funny that you asked that. We actually made this pumpkin pie back here.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving on Thursday. I think you can make it today. Why not?
Why not?
If you don't want to make the entire pie today, you can definitely make the pie dough. I always make pie dough like way ahead of time and just pop it in the freezer. But if you make it today, you can keep it in the fridge until Thanksgiving. But I always tell people, try not to make your pie on Thanksgiving because you have so many things that are going to go into the oven. And dessert is like the thing that you can definitely make ahead. So you can make your pies today.
One of those things you can easily knock out today, along with, if you guys are just tuning in, we are live in the Rachael Prep Kitchen. It's Grant and I, and we've got our two girls over there, Tina and VJ from the team. So write in with any of your questions. We're here to help. I'm making a rye bread stuffing, which you can easily make today or tomorrow, and it'll be fine in the refrigerator for Thursday. So it's actually funny. I came up with this recipe because I feel like stuffing. Ooh, lost one. I feel like stuffing's one of those recipes that, like, whatever kind of old bread you have lying around, stale bread in the freezer, that's what works for stuffing. It's like so cheap and cheerful. So what I have here is a loaf of rye bread that I just cubed up, and it was funny because Emerald actually taped a show last week, and he used a fresh rye bread. I think that show's airing on Tuesday. He made a Rachael sandwich with rye bread. So Emerald, I used your extra rye bread to make some stuffing today.
That's a great idea.
I cubed them into like 1-inch pieces. I popped them in the oven, just toasted them, and then I'm going to toss them in with all the sweated vegetables and the herbs. I'm incorporating about 4 cups of turkey stock. You can use chicken stock or vegetable stock if you've got vegetarians. Vegetable stock would be great. And I'm going to throw this into a buttered casserole and pop it in the oven and not think about it until Thursday.
Sonia commented and asked how far in advance should she brine her turkey? I would say like 24 hours
I'd say 24,
at most, right?
At most.
Because you can overbrine a turkey. And I think we've all probably tasted an overbrine turkey. It's when it gets like really grainy kind of, and the kind of meat kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
And it's not the best, tasting turkey in the world, but I wouldn't go any further than 24 hours. 12 to 24, I think, is what you're looking at for brining turkey if you're going to do that. Brenda from Oklahoma.
Hi, Brenda.
Hello. Hi, Brenda. One of our coworkers, Bria, is from Oklahoma, right? Bria's behind the camera. She's from Oklahoma, so we have a little Oklahoma in the house here at the Rachael Ray Show. And Patty says, any ideas for quick sides that will travel well? I think both of our sides we're making right now would travel pretty nicely.
I think so, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm just going to dot the top of this with the remaining other half a stick of butter. and then cover this in plastic wrap, and then bring this to your party and just pop it in the oven, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I like dotting the top. Oh,
Ooh.
ooh! It's like a disco in here right now.
It just turned into Halloween all of a sudden.
It is like a disco party.
For some reason,
It's
our
a
lights
little
just
dark.
went out. But you know what? If the
We're
lights
still
go
here.
out, you can't cancel Thanksgiving. You have to keep on going.
Exactly.
So we're gonna keep cooking in the dark here.
We are, yeah. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven, 375 for about 20 minutes or so, 20, 25 minutes, and then here she is. Oh God, that's a heavy baby. This is my rye bread stuffing. I'm gonna serve some of it up. We
Ooh,
can give
yummy.
that a good try. I know it smells really good.
So while you're serving that up, I'm gonna get started on my make-ahead mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes are one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving as well, but I feel like they're really time sensitive normally, and it's one of those things that you sort of like slave over the stove while everyone's at your house. So I came up with this recipe to sort of, you know, a nice fix to having make-ahead mashed potatoes. So all I did was boil my mashed potatoes in some salted water. Whenever you boil your potatoes, you want to make sure you're starting with some cold water. Bring it up to a boil, and you just cook them until they're nice and tender. I'm actually using the some small potatoes, and I left the skin on because I kind of like that texture. I like the skin of the potatoes. I think it's really yummy, and it's, you know, a little bit different too.
Sorry, I just stuffed my mouth with stuffing. It's so
How's the
yummy.
stuffing?
It's really good. You want me to feed you some?
Yes,
it's really
please.
yummy. It's hot. Sorry. Delicious.
Ooh, that's good.
Right?
We're getting a little bit more light.
We're getting some light in here, guys. Well, if the power goes out on Thanksgiving, I hopefully
Hey.
have a gas stove, not an electric stove.
We had a Christmas one year where the power went out,
How fun.
and it was actually kind of fun. We sat around and played board games.
like it.
It was fun. We should go get a board game.
Yeah.
How about food?
Nancy commented, and she wants to know if we have any ideas for any sugar-free anything for Thanksgiving.
That's a good
That is a good question.
You know, if you're looking for something sugar-free, I would just maybe stick with things that are already sweet, like sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes are
nice.
actually, my father-in-law's diabetic, and
Yeah.
I always make him some sweet potatoes with some maple syrup,
Yeah.
as opposed to brown sugar, because maple syrup has a lower, and on the glycemic index, it's a little bit lower.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, so sweet potatoes is always a great option for keeping it low sugar.
So over here, I just mashed our potatoes. I'm going to add in, instead of 1 stick of butter, we're adding 2.
Like
the
you
reason
said,
we're adding 2,
Thanksgiving.
A, it's a holiday, and B, since we're making our mashed potatoes ahead of time, you want to add some extra fat so they stay nice and, you know, juicy and don't like dry out.
That smells
so I have
so
2
good the
sticks of
moment
butter.
that butter hits the
And
potatoes.
I'm going to add in our milk.
Yum. Pam commented that she's making barbecue turkey with barbecue butter and a barbecue dry rub.
Ooh,
Pam,
yummy.
that sounds great. We made a beer can turkey once, and that was the first
Yes,
time I
we
ever
did.
barbecued a turkey. I know there's a lot of parts of the country where it's warm. I grew up in the Northeast, so it's always really cold on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But hey, put your parka on and go out to the barbecue.
I think that's a great idea.
It cooks so fast, the beer can turkey. That recipe's up on RachelRachael.com.
And then it's also one less thing that you have to have in the oven. If you can cook something out of the
Exactly.
oven, I think that's always a great
Exactly.
suggestion.
Actually, your dad commented on our video last night, and he was asking like, what's the best way of getting, like, you know, you've got a lot of people coming over for dinner. What's the best way to get everything on the table at once? And that's actually my tip. It's like utilize as many other things that isn't the stove. So use your slow cooker. Use your barbecue. What else could you use? Like, I have one of those little induction burners that like you use for camping. You can easily use that on the side.
I think
just
it's
keep your oven clear.
Yeah, another great way to really plan out your timing well. I think people stress out about keeping the turkey warm. The turkey's going to stay warm for a long time. So cook your turkey first, take it out, and it can sit on the counter for a long time because it's never really going to get cold, and you're going to top it with warm gravy.
Exactly.
So cook your turkey first, and then
That
you
is
have
a
a
good
ton
tip.
of room for everything else in the oven. So in the mashed potatoes, I just added in a little secret ingredient. I like to add horseradish in my mashed potatoes.
There's the sinuses.
I know, right?
So yummy.
It's one of those things too. I think sometimes people are like, "Oh, I don't know if I like that." I think when you eat these mashed potatoes, though, you can't really taste the
It's
horseradish.
subtle.
You just kind of taste that little tanginess, the
I like
brininess of it. I think that's really good.
Joanna commented, and she wants to know what the fastest way to dry out bread for stuffing is. I just popped it on a sheet tray and put it in the oven. I think the oven was at 325 or 350, whatever the oven was already on. And you just like toast it, give it a toss halfway through, maybe like 8 to 10 minutes, and it was all toasted. Raphael said that he's cooking a veggie roast with cauliflower.
Ooh,
Raphael,
yum.
that sounds delicious. I love a good vegetarian option for Thanksgiving. And Cheryl's asking, how long does it take to defrost a turkey? Cheryl, we've got a little cheat sheet over here because I feel like we make turkeys all the time, but sometimes those numbers escape us. You want to make sure it's about 4 pounds per day. So if your bird is bigger than 12 pounds, definitely take it out of the freezer today.
Yes,
And
for sure.
you're going to want to use the cold water method. And by that, you want to take like a clog up your sink, like there's like the little plunger in there, and clog up your sink, and you want to refill it with cold water every 30 minutes per pound, or just leave it on with like the sink just trickling, so that the water refreshes itself every 30 minutes or so.
Totally.
And that takes about 30 minutes per pound. So you want to get started on defrosting those turkeys right away.
Start doing it today. I just want to catch you guys up on what I did right here. And here I have some panko breadcrumbs. I added in some Parmesan cheese, some melted butter, a little extra horseradish, and some chopped chives. That's going to be the topper for a mashed potato make-ahead casserole. These mashed potatoes look a little bit looser than a normal mashed potato. That's because while they sit in the fridge, they're going to soak up some more of that moisture. And then when you cook them too, they're going to soak up some more of that. So they might look a little loose, but that's exactly how you want them.
But that's perfect for the make-ahead, right?
Yeah. You put your crunchy breadcrumbs on top. And now, just like Jeanette's casserole, you would just wrap this up in some plastic wrap and keep it in the fridge until you're ready to bake it. But I have one back here that's already baked.
Nice. Vincent says hi from cold Rochester, New York. Vincent, stay warm up in Rochester. Mike says hi and that he loves us. Thanks, Mike. Love you back. And Chelsea says, what do you bring if you don't know how to cook? That's a very good question, Chelsea.
That is a great question.
I would say bring a cheese plate.
Yeah, totally. Bring a cheese plate.
I love
Get
a
little
cheese
help
board.
from the store.
Exactly.
I think it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, Damaris Phillips was on our show and she did some assembly-only appetizers. Go check those out on the website because those are all things that are really, really simple. Get a lot of help from the store, and all you have to do is take them home and assemble them.
All right. So, Grant, that casserole looks absolutely delicious.
Thank you. Yeah, check out this mashed
Look how
potato
pretty and brown that
casserole.
got.
We're going to let this cool off a little bit before we taste it, but check that out. Doesn't that look yummy?
We'll give that a quick taste. VJ wants it. If you're watching Facebook Live, this is VJ who's constantly writing to us from the office that she wants lunch. So I'm glad you're here today.
I'm
VJ.
always hungry. So.
All right, so you're going to get us started and show us how to make your famous gravy, right?
Yes. So for my gravy, I usually like to use the drippings. After you have roasted the turkey, do not throw that out. Do not throw the pan out. All those little crunchy things in there, delicious. They will make your gravy much more richer. But if you don't have that, you can always use butter. And my thing is 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour, and 2 cups of stock. Very easy, very simple to remember.
And then did you strain this or no? You just pour that straight in from the pan?
I did not strain it.
Okay. I'm going to add the flour.
Yes.
What's the benefit to not straining it? Is it more flavor? And it actually has a really nice, rich
I think
color.
like fat is always flavor. I like flavor, so
Perfect.
I don't like straining anything unless it's lumpy. Then I will go and strain this. Oh yeah, look at this.
Yeah,
this is great.
It's a really
basically we're just making a basic roux, and this came out. It comes out really quickly, so it's one of those things that you can do the last thing right before you go.
Perfect.
To the table.
Right before you're going to the table, exactly.
Right before.
So now you're going to add in a little bit of stock.
Yes,
and I'm going to keep
absolutely.
whisking so that we don't get lumpy gravy, right?
Absolutely,
Because you want to make sure that that all gets really incorporated and that you're not going to have lumps.
Yes.
But if you do have lumps, all you have to do is run it through a strainer.
Absolutely.
That's really simple.
Yes,
Look
look
at
at this.
it.
It comes
It's
out
coming
so
together
quickly,
so
you
fast.
guys.
Exactly.
And everyone, all you guys will be very impressed if you just do it from
Exactly,
scratch.
exactly. Straight from the pan.
Yes.
Gabby commented and she said, should I put the flavor under the skin if I'm deep frying the turkey? I say yes, because you want to make sure that the outside of that turkey is very dry before you pop that into the fryer. Because otherwise, it becomes a little bit of a dangerous situation. I love it. This gravy is coming so good.
Right?
I love a deep fried turkey. It keeps it really, really moist and delicious, and it cooks in like an hour and 15 minutes or something, depending on the size in one of those fryers. I love the way that is, but just be careful when you're doing it and be safe. Mandy says hi from Michigan.
Hi,
Hello,
Mandy.
Mandy in Michigan. We have a question for Tina. Tina,
Ooh, Tina Wu,
Gabby,
she's right over
Gabby
here.
wants to know what Daddy Wu makes for Thanksgiving.
Well, every year, Daddy Wu for Thanksgiving for our lunch makes mushu pork. That is a family tradition that's been around since my Aunt Teresa. And when she moved to California, my dad kept the tradition on. So mushu pork.
Yummy.
Yum. I feel like that's a tradition that everybody should start. I love mushu
Yeah.
pork. That sounds
Me too.
good.
All right, VJ went to go grab a gravy boat. I think it's time for some cranberry sauce.
Ooh,
What do you guys
totally.
think?
Oh, that's me.
That's you, Woo Woo.
I am the cranberry sauce queen. So I am going to ask you, Facebook, what do you prefer? Homemade cranberry sauce or the jelly cranberry sauce? Because on my table, I always have both.
You have both.
I always have both because there's something about the canned cranberry sauce that just feels so Thanksgiving-ish for me. But I always like fresh cranberry sauce. And my favorite cranberry sauce is a Scott Conant recipe that we did like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's this Campari cranberry sauce with like turbinado sugar and ginger. Oh, let me just start making it. Why am I explaining it to you? Uh-oh, burner.
I have the lighter.
Oh, you have the lighter? Okay, well, I can just get started. So to this, I'm going to add cranberries. I'm going to do about 3/4 of the cranberries in here, and then I'm just going to add in some regular sugar and some turbinado sugar, which is just like raw sugar.
Yeah. Just to remind you guys, too, all these recipes that we're making here today are going to be up on the Facebook page later today. So if you like what you're seeing here, make sure you come back and check those out.
Will you give me a slash of that Campari?
Ooh, yes.
That's the secret ingredient to this recipe is the Campari.
So Campari is, what kind of liqueur is it, Tina?
It's like a liqueur that has been marinated with a lot of fruit and spices, and it turns that red color, but back in the day, I think it was made with like insects, I heard.
Oh, yum.
So like, but it's an aperitif, and people drink it with their sodas, and they make Campari soda. It's one of our favorites here.
Yeah, this is, I love Campari. It's really yummy.
So I'm just gonna let that simmer for a little bit. I'm gonna add in a little bit of water. If you guys missed it, I put a little bit of orange in there, and then we're just gonna let this boil. And then once it starts boiling, you're just gonna add a little bit of ginger. That was like the best part of this, is because it gives it that like really warm flavor.
Well, Jamie commented, she looks like she's making a lot of stuff. She's making cherry divinity dressing, sloppy joes, and either potato or peanut butter fudge.
Ooh.
Wow.
Peanut butter fudge sounds delicious.
You know what? You should also make. I feel like you should make mooshu pork as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just Daddy Woo.
Have you shared Daddy Woo's mooshu pork?
I
did Daddy Woo's chicken on the show.
I don't think, actually, maybe we did do Daddy Woo's mooshu pork. I actually think we did. I think Rachael actually really likes mooshu pork.
So it looks like people are commenting, Tina, that they prefer the jellied cranberries.
Yes. Well, I mean, even if you prefer the jellied cranberries, I say try to make this, because you can make this today. You can make this today for Thanksgiving, and it's a great make-ahead, and it's done and fabulous, and I swear you'll love it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just add a little bit of honey in here.
And Jacques Pepin, for those of you who love jellied cranberry sauce, Jacques Pepin was on the show a few weeks ago, and he actually took the jellied cranberry sauce and turned it into this really pretty rose.
Oh, yeah.
So you're basically having your jellied cranberry sauce, but presenting it in this really pretty way. So go back to our website and check that out, because that was a really, really cool recipe. Denise asks, how do you make mashed cauliflower? Have you ever made mashed cauliflower?
Yeah, you know what? The easiest way to make mashed cauliflower is to steam it or boil it, just like you would potatoes. You would treat it just like you would when it's fork tender. You would just either rice it or mash it, and then add in your mix-ins, your sour cream, your heavy cream. If you want to lighten it up, some Greek yogurt. I know that Jeanette loves Greek yogurt.
I do love Greek yogurt.
And if you missed it, the great thing about his cranberry sauce is he adds in a couple berries later, so they kind of stay kind of whole, as you can see it right here once it's done. And it's like jellied, but it still has whole berries that are a little bit soft, and I really like that.
Yeah. Bob commented and said he puts garlic melted butter with chicken or turkey stock on the turkey one day in advance. That's interesting.
Sounds like a nice way of keeping it juicy.
Yeah, totally. That sounds really yummy. We have a comment asking if VJ has any Albanian traditions.
Do you have any Albanian traditions, darling?
Well, we did not celebrate Thanksgiving in Albania. So the first Thanksgiving that I had was when I moved to the States. I would say making the turkey with my family. It's a tradition.
I think VJ and I were talking earlier about a tradition that you have where you make potato latkes with leftovers.
With
and we're going to do that on Facebook Live tomorrow.
Exactly. And I turned that into breakfast.
Yummy.
Mike commented and asked if you have any flavorful brine recipe.
Mike, that's funny you should
looks
ask.
like Jeanette's setting that up for you, Mike.
And here's the cranberry sauce right there.
Ooh, Tina, that's beautiful.
All right.
I think I kind of want to carve up this turkey so we can eat the gravy and the cranberry sauce. What do we
totally.
think? We just roasted this turkey right before, and I thought you guys might want to see how to do it, because I feel like you spend so much time making all of this food, and there's like everybody's coming over. It's like, how do you carve a turkey?
Yeah.
So maybe Grant will do that for us.
Sure, I can do that.
That sounds like fun. But to answer your question, Mike, I believe it was Mike, you wanted to know how to brine a turkey. So Rachael actually has a really nice recipe for a whiskey cider brine turkey.
Yeah.
And that's definitely up on the website. I'll find you and I'll comment that to you after this after this video. But I'm just going to show you how to make a basic brine. So what you do is you take a raw turkey. And actually, Anne Burrell was on the show recently, and she did it in a big cooler, because sometimes you don't have all the space in the refrigerator. You could put it in they sell brine bags at the grocery store right now, so it's like a really big, a super big plastic food storage bag. And so you'll just take your turkey and you pop that in there, and the ratio for a brine is 1 gallon of water to 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of salt. So, and we were having a lot of conversations about brines today and how they actually work. And it's because it's very sciencey. It gets it's a process of osmosis, and the cells with the salt and the sugar permeate the cells that don't because they're heavier, so they permeate through, and that's how it keeps your turkey really, really, really juicy and nice.
Yeah. And one thing to like kind of put it into perspective, whenever you roast meat, 30% of the liquid that's in the meat comes out of the whatever the meat is. So if you brine it, all of that liquid gets absorbed by the meat, and you only end up losing about 15%. So it makes whatever meat you're cooking twice as juicy as it normally would be, which is actually really, really cool. I think it's a really great way to keep your turkey nice and juicy.
It is, yeah. Actually, I was saying I had Friendsgiving on Saturday, and I wasn't quite pleased with how my turkey came out. I know that's funny because we make turkeys all the time. I wasn't quite pleased with it, so I'm definitely going to be brining my turkey this Thanksgiving and keep the juice in it.
Yeah.
All right, so like I said, it's water, 1 gallon of water, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of salt, but you can get creative. You can use, instead of water, you can use some apple cider, and that'll get some nice flavor into it as well. You can use brown sugar instead of regular sugar. That will change up the flavor too. And then your salt. So let us know how that works. And like we said earlier, you don't want to brine it for longer than 24 hours because then you're going to have an over-brine turkey.
Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to carve up this turkey right here. I think besides gravy, this also might be one of the most intimidating things about Thanksgiving that people ask us all the time. How do you carve the turkey? My number one tip for you is carve it however you want. If you just want to rip the meat off of there, that's totally fine. You can absolutely do it that way. This is how I carve a turkey at home. This is how we carve it around here all the time. So I have our turkey tied right here. So I'm just going to cut off that little string.
That's also a good tip as well. When you're trussing a turkey, there's all these really complicated methods about like wrap the strings around the arms. Here's a really simple, the way that Grant did this is really, really simple. Roll your sleeves up. Yeah. You just want to tuck the wings underneath so he's kind of like chilling in the pan. I always think it's funny when he's just like, exactly. He's like, I'm chilling.
And it also makes him nice and stable. Because if his wings are out, he's going to like rock around a lot. But when you tuck him like that, he kind of has like a place to land. He's nice and comfy.
And then you just give him a quick tie. You once you put like some of your aromatics or your stuffing inside, you give it a quick tie at the feet. I actually have these roasting rubber bands at home that I really like.
Oh, those are great.
They're really simple. It's kind of like making a ponytail in your turkey.
So I'm going to start by removing the leg and the thigh. So what I'm going to do is just kind of cut straight down.
That looks perfectly cooked and juicy inside. Very nice.
And the reason I go with this first is because that's going to help us easily remove the breast meat. Now this turkey is a little warm.
Oh, you do have.
So then, we just sort of push his legs out a little bit because that gives us some more room to work right here. So right here is where the turkey's bone is, where the breastbone is. So we're going to work on either side of the bone to remove the breast. So just find out where that little bone is. You can kind of feel it. After you roast a turkey, the bone kind of like pokes out a little bit right here. So now you just kind of slice down and then just let your knife sort of follow the bone. You can sort of like feel it and jiggle it around as you're going down. There we go.
Right. And you just take it off like in whole pieces.
Yeah. And
then you want to cut it off the bird. Because, like sometimes you watch people and they slice very thin pieces off the breast. It's like get the whole breast off, get the whole thigh off, and then make nice slices on your cutting board.
This also allows you to get some nice, like Jeanette was saying, you can remove the whole piece, then you can get some nice thick pieces. You're not going to get those little thin guys.
Victoria commented and she said that she makes a pumpkin mousse with chocolate cups and mini pecan pie tarts. Ooh. That sounds delicious, Victoria.
This is a hot turkey.
I know.
So check that out. So we just removed one of the breasts right there. I'm going to get started on the second one.
I have a tip.
Ooh.
Oh, BJ's in with a tip.
What's your tip?
Well, it looks like the turkey is a little bit hot, so your fingers don't get burned.
Well, just
dip them into ice water.
Wow.
That's such a great tip.
Look at
I didn't know that.
And I actually now that we have the ice
so
water.
Sweet. She's thinking about the health of my little
fingertips.
fingertips.
Wait, I'm gonna grab a thermometer real quick.
Oh, this is also a really funny tip. I forgot this was in here. I always put an onion right here where the turkey's neck would be because then it keeps it nice and like sticks out a little bit. So that's what that was doing.
Do you want me to grab it? My hands are cold.
Oh yeah, do you want to tag out?
Yes.
Here's one more tip, now that we have the ice water, is that before you start, you want to make sure that you're going to just get to know your oven temperatures and your thermometer temperatures. So this is something you want to invest in. This is an oven thermometer. And actually, I moved this summer, so I wasn't really familiar with like the temperature of my oven. And I found out this weekend that my oven runs 10 degrees cool. So if I'm roasting something at 375, I want to put it up to 385. So you want to make sure to get one of these. I got at the grocery store this weekend. And now that we've got ice water, you could take your meat thermometer and you could swirl it around in ice water, and it should read 32 degrees because that's the freezing point of water.
Yeah.
Or boiling water. What's the boiling point? 212? I think it's 212, yeah. So you could also dip it into some boiling water as well and make sure that your meat thermometer is correct because you don't want that to be wrong on Thanksgiving.
All right, so then when you're doing the legs, guys, what I just do is just kind of poke them up a little bit, and then you just let your knife kind of follow meat is.
Look
And
how
eventually you
easy
get to
that
this
is.
little joint, and you just pop your knife right in there. Look at that.
And then everybody fights in your family over the turkey leg.
Yes,
That's
but
definitely the best
this
part.
is why you should volunteer to carve the turkey, because you get first dibs on all of this stuff. Like, you can
First
take this
dibs.
to the table and be like, oops, I guess I got a one-legged turkey this year, guys. And that other turkey leg is for you.
Anna commented, and she said that she's making your pumpkin pecan pie.
Oh,
that's
great.
That's such a great recipe. It was like,
Yeah.
do you want pecan or pumpkin? I want both, and Grant delivered. That's such a fun recipe.
I'll probably make that one this year too,
Yeah.
because then you only have to make one pie.
Exactly, I love it. It's Amy's first time cooking the stuffing, and she wants to know if she can make it one day in advance. Amy, you can make it today. You can make it 3 days in advance. Stuffing, and if it gets a little bit dried out before you pop it into the oven on Thursday, just use a little bit of stock and butter over the top, and you'll be good to go. Denise said that she saw that on the show today, Rachel said that you should put turkey stock on a dry turkey, and that is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
This turkey actually looks really beautiful and moist, but say it was a little drier. Denise, I should have taken that tip over the weekend when I was upset about my dry turkey. But we've got a turkey puddle down here.
The turkey's leaking. I just got some turkey juice on my shoes.
But yeah, that's a great tip. If your turkey's dry, you just run it through a little bit of stock before you put it on the table, and it's as juicy as ever.
We can hold it.
Victoria said that last year the turkey broth burned on the bottom of her pan. How does she prevent this? Add some more. You probably didn't use enough. You want to use maybe 2 or 3 cups of stock to get things started, because you don't want to burn the bottom, because then all of your drippings for your gravy are going to be burned. So that's why you want to keep some nice moisture on the bottom.
Teamwork.
But on today's show, I don't know, I know Denise was watching, it was our big Master of Disaster show.
Yeah, that
it
was
was
so fun.
so much fun in here. We had Carla Hall, we had Jeff Morrow, we had Curtis Stone, and Rachael, and the 4 of them tackled so many of your Thanksgiving problems. So head to our website if you didn't catch the show today. You can catch all of their tips on what to do to fix all of the disasters. My favorite was when Jeff dropped the pie on the floor.
Oh my god.
And he was just eating it with a fork on the floor.
That was funny.
He's such a player, that guy. We love Jeff.
All right, we're almost finished carving up our turkey.
Nice.
Just removing the last wing right here. Got some teamwork going on, because this is a stubborn bird. But now you
look
have
at
this
that.
beautiful carcass left. I mean, it's not beautiful. This looks horrible.
It's
This
gorgeous.
is the part that you don't want. This guy doesn't need to go to the Thanksgiving table. Okay,
No.
leave him in the kitchen, but you can throw him
Throw
into
him
a
in
big
let's
stock
get a
pot.
stock pot and start some stock.
And what we like to do is just make a bunch of turkey stock. You can use this for your leftovers tomorrow. You can use this for your gravy if you want. But we're going to start making some
Pop it right in
stock.
here.
And maybe we'll make something with that tomorrow.
With that tomorrow, yeah. And you throw some water in there, you throw some aromatics, a little bit of carrot, celery, onion, bay leaf, peppercorns, whatever flavor you have. You probably have some thyme from all the Thanksgiving festivities. I'm going to grab a plate. We're going to have some turkey. Yes. I think that sounds good, Grant.
I'm just going to take some of our whole herbs.
Oh,
that we
yeah.
have
Look how
left
pretty
over.
that is.
Decorate it.
Decorate the turkey.
Still have my fork.
Nice.
Andrew and Aaron just commented, and they want to know what a healthy alternative is to cream of mushroom soup. Funny you asked that. Grant and I did a segment a couple weeks ago, and I made a no cream creamy mushroom soup.
It was delicious.
And it was with cashews.
Yes.
So there's no dairy in it at all. If you've got some people in your family that might be lactose intolerant, but also it's a healthy alternative because you're only adding extra nice protein with those cashews and not extra heavy cream. Pam said that sweet potato pecan pie is really good for those who don't like pumpkin. Pam, that is certainly a true fact. Bridget says, LOL, beautiful carcass.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thanks, Bridget.
And Jen says, Happy Thanksgiving, Grant and Jeanette.
Hello, Jen.
Hi,
Happy
Jen.
Thanksgiving to you, too.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
And Jessica's excited to use all of the...
All she's learned
All
when
she's
she
learned.
hosts.
I was like, shells? Sorry, I can't
We're
read
too
very well.
excited after all the turkey.
And Lenora says, any tips on cooking turkey in a slow cooker? Have anybody up here used a slow cooker for their turkey?
I think we did.
We
for
did it on
this
the show.
with Sunny. She did
that's
it,
true.
and she's a really big slow cooker, and it didn't look the prettiest, but I think it tasted really, really good. So
Yeah.
good luck with that.
And Mandy asked, green bean casserole is easy if you can't cook. That's very true.
Yes.
That's a great suggestion.
Very
for those
simple.
of you
I'm
who
actually
aren't.
going to make that tomorrow on Facebook Live.
Oh, great.
Because we actually had a few comments asking how to make green bean casserole. I'm going to show you how to make Rachel's recipe. It's actually the one I make for Thanksgiving. It's called It's Not Easy Being Green Bean Casserole. It's my favorite recipe. Anne says, best show, love it. Thank you, Anne. And we were talking about this earlier. JD Jennifer Fonny asked, what's a good appetizer to bring in the car for a long trip? What was your answer? A cheese ball.
Woo and I love cheese balls.
This is our
Last
favorite.
season on the show, we made probably like 10 different cheese
Yeah.
balls. We have a ton of cheese ball recipes on the website, so
online.
check those out. And they're super easy. All you have to do is mix up a bunch of cheeses with some cream cheese. They travel beautifully, and you can make a few different flavors.
And all you do is set out some crackers with it, and it's beautiful. Oh, and Gabby's mom made that turkey cheese ball. So maybe you should, you should definitely try to make a turkey cheese ball.
She stuck like a pretzel rod in it and made like a whole little like fanfare.
It had like a
endive
face
and cute little vegetables and stuff. Julie Knoll wants to know if she can brine a frozen turkey. No, you cannot. You need to thaw that out before you do so. So make sure to get your turkey out of the freezer and so that you can start brining. Jen Furto, I'm going to be making green bean casserole on tomorrow's Facebook Live, so join us at 1 o'clock again.
And my brother Ross is
watching.
Ross.
Hi, Ross. Happy Thanksgiving to all of Ohio. Oh, and Leandra says hi from Kentucky.
Hey, Kentucky.
Keshia says hi from Guyana.
Hello,
Happy
Thanksgiving, Guyana.
And Ann says hi from Boise, Idaho.
Yes.
Wow, we've got like the whole family in the house today for Thanksgiving. I think, I'm going to try these potatoes. I think it's lunchtime in here, guys. Yes. So like we said, tomorrow, we're going to be back. Hi, Alex. Happy holidays. Thank you for wishing us happy holidays. Linda says thanks for the tips and see you tomorrow. Yes, Linda. Like I was just going to say, we're going to be back here tomorrow. Same time, same place. And we're going to be here to answer more of your Thanksgiving questions. So think up some tonight. Comment on this post. Comment on the post tomorrow. Join us at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. And that's it. I'm a little out of breath. This was a lot of fun turkey time. I think we're gonna have a little mini Friendsgiving right now and enjoy some lunch. So remember, if you like what you saw on today's show, make sure to like, comment, share, and cook. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Do you want some?
I keep eating.
It is delicious.